MOC Floyd Valley fans have to get to games early this year to get a seat because they got a double feature, and the girls rank second, the boys rank third. So we'll go on and start with the boys. We're back in action out here in Des Moines at the boys state basketball tournament. Today we have 4 teams in the semifinals who will try to find their way to the championship. Well, it looks like spring has finally sprung here in Des Moines. Drake Stadium for the Drake Relays, where a handful of Siouxland athletes are out to prove that they can hang with the best. Most teams are wanting that state championship victory on Friday or Saturday, but to get there, you've got to win today. But the fun doesn't stop here. We got lots of area wrestlers competing tomorrow for the title of state champion. We'll have all of that coverage right here for you on KCAU Channel 9. So far, 4 of the 5 Siouxland basketball teams have punched their ticket to the semifinals. Today, we'd find out if Siouxland could go 5 for 5. And we'll kick things off with the Hinton Blackhawks, where they want to turn their 4th place finish last year into a 1st place finish this year. When yesterday we went 2 for 2 with Siouxland teams, seeing Boyden Hull and Storm Lake St. Mary's advance. Today, what do we see 2 more teams punch their ticket to the 2nd round? Day 3 at Wells Fargo Arena here in Des Moines for girls state basketball. 6 Siouxland schools have advanced to the state semifinals. Would Bishop Heelan be lucky number 7? The Homer Knights can't get enough guys to try out for their football team.
I don't know, just the kids that just don't want to play football, I guess.
At the beginning of the season, they had just enough until wave after wave of injuries crippled this team.
I've never had this many kids get hurt in a season coaching. You know, you'll have 1 or 2 every year, every team does.
A torn ACL, a broken ankle, a pin put in a wrist. Everybody in town was wondering about their team.
We had a lot of questions wondering, are we going to play Fridays? Are we going to play Mondays?
So the coaches talked it over, and they only had one option.
We are not going to be playing varsity, but us seniors, we will be able to play junior varsity.
Even though we're playing JV, I got to be a leader for this team, for these younger guys that are coming up, so they keep playing, so they keep staying out for football.
No senior wants to have their season end like this. They haven't given up. In fact, they've been here every day, every practice. They told their teammates that this JV season is now their varsity season. Their coach couldn't be any more proud.
A lot of individuals in our society, period, when things get tough, they want to quit. We haven't had any kids quit. They just hang in there, and they're going to hang in there. And you watch, a couple of years, those kids will be all right.
In Homer, Nebraska with the Knights, I am Lucas Treat, Channel 9 Sports. These Musketeers aren't what they used to be.
We've had plenty of guys come in and out of the doors, and just kind of get used to it after a while.
By late December, head coach Brett Larson noticed his team wasn't what he envisioned.
The fact of the matter was we weren't scoring enough, and we were losing a lot of one-goal hockey games. We decided to move a lot of the guys that we knew wouldn't be back in the league next year. Guys going to college, get as much value for them, get kids that are going to be back next year.
Team captain David Goodwin, gone. Bruising defenseman Michael Holland, gone. Reliable goaltender Joey Ballmer, adios.
A lot of teams are losing a lot of guys, and we're the youngest team, so we're just trying to do good these last couple of months of the season and really prepare for next year.
Through 40 games this season, the Muskies have lost 22. And of those 22 losses, 18 have been by 1 goal.
Losing all those 1-goal games and stuff, it's really tough on a team. But like you said, we're just trying to get better, do good these last couple months of the season.
You just got to stay mentally tough, and I know a lot of the guys trying to bring each other up in the locker room, and every team you're going to be on, you're brothers, and you got to be tight. You got to be there for your other guy next to you. And
the goal is to cash in this season's hardships for next season's rewards.
Just every day we just come here, and we're always just got to keep a positive attitude, I think, is the main thing. Just come to the rink positive and keep working hard, and just know that hopefully it'll pay off next year.
We're trying to be a contender for next year, and we want to, obviously our expectation is to win the Clark Cup, so, we can get this group of guys meshing together, and I think it'll be perfect.
The Musketeers have done a total 180 since the beginning of the season, and their hard work and focus this season will propel them into next season. In Sioux City with the Musketeers, I'm Lucas Treat, Channel 9 Sports. Welcome back. With a record of 23-13, the Wichita Wingnuts claim the best record in the American Association. The X's have a record of 16-19. That's good enough to land them next to last in the Central Division standings. Saturday night, the X's won in extra innings, taking down the Wingnuts 7-6 in the 11th. Tonight, the X's would look for the series split. And we had some Kansas City Royals players here today, so it's nice to have them in the crowd. Wichita at X's top 2 no score, bases empty for Brett Cleveland. He takes Richard Salazar deep to left. Solo shot, his 3rd home run of the season. 1-0 Wingnuts. Bottom 3, same score. Runners on the corners for Liam Barroso. He slaps one up the middle. Alberto Espinosa comes around from 3rd base to score. Slides home safely, tied at 1. Top 4, same score. Cole Armstrong to the plate. He goes deep to right. Solo home run for him, his 5th of the year. Wichita up 2-1. Bottom 5, same score. Eliezer Mesa with runners on 2nd and 3rd. He hits a gapper to right. Anthony Cascaden scores. Explorers tie it up at 2 and go on to win 5-3 to split the series. The story of last season's Musketeers squad is well known by now. The Musketeers had big expectations, flopped, renovated the roster with young talent, and the young guys turned things around, finishing as one of the hottest teams in the league. After a few months removed from the season, these Musketeers still know they have a lot of work to do. We've been covering each day of the Musketeers tryout camp, as well as the arrival of new head coach Jay Verde. And when talking with the returning players and Coach Verde, they don't really know either side that well yet. They haven't spent enough time to get to know each other, but both sides know where the focus is and where the expectation is, and that expectation is a Clark Cup.
We like to reminisce about last year, and I know Coach says, it's a new year, but, going 19-7 or 18-7, whatever we did in the last 25 games, it was pretty spectacular. Obviously, the expectations are high, and we expect that, and we hope to deliver.
The Musketeers finished out their tryout camp today at the IBP Ice Center. At the beginning of the season, new softball coach Laura Vasky told her team that her expectation was the state softball tournament. A couple players laughed, not out of disrespect, but because no one thought the Eagles were a state softball team. But they are. And today they packed their bags and headed to Fort Dodge. The pieces are in place. Lexi Bender leads the state in strikeouts as a freshman. Ashley Williams is a leader both with her words and with her actions on and off the field. JC Ross is the type of catcher that slows down teams' running games and makes plays behind home plate. But this young ball club, they don't have a senior, let alone any state experience, but this team knows how to rally around each other.
It shows that we are a really close team and that no matter what, we can do what we want when we want to do it, and that we're a strong team and that we know how to work together and when to come out and win games.
2 years ago, no one would have thought that we would have even been close to going to state, but now we're still going to be the underdogs, but we have a good chance if we play our game.
Once they figured out that, we are good enough and they can get there, that's been their focus all along. So they've been pretty disciplined, and, they've kept themselves grounded, which has always been nice. But, I try just to tell them one game at a time, and that's been our main focus for the last 2 weeks.
Lawton Bronson plays Durant tomorrow at 5:30. Let's check out who else will be playing. The Sioux City Explorers came in tonight's game with 1 win in their past 10 games. Tonight they hosted the North Division leader, the Fargo Redhawks, for the final game of the 4-game series. With a win tonight, the X's could split. Fargo at X's, top 3, Redhawks up 2. For Nick Jackson, he hits a gapper to right center. Zach Penprace, he'll round 3rd, going from 2nd. He goes all the way in to score. 3-0 Fargo. Next batter, C.J. Rutherford. Single to right. Ronnie Berquin, he'll try to cross home plate. That makes it 4-0 Fargo. X's would keep things close, though. Bottom 7, Peter Barros with 2 on. Deep shot to left center. That's a 3-run bomb. That would make it 11-10 Fargo. But a little too less, a little too late. Redhawks would hang on to win 13-10. Welcome back. The Spirit Lake Indians took to the diamond earlier today in Principal Park as they look to extend their postseason run against number 4 Kemper Catholic. The Indians are on a quest for their first state championship, while Kemper Catholic is looking for a little revenge from their 2010 state title loss to Solon. Indians taking on Kemper Catholic in Des Moines at the Class 2A state baseball tournament. Runner on 2nd in the bottom of the 1st for Adam Schleisman. He finds the corner and left. This one will rattle around back in there. A run comes home. It's 1-0 Kemper Catholic later on. Bryce, sack fly to right. Colby Baumhover scores from third. 2-0 Kemper. Indians just unable to keep up with these Kemper Catholic bats as they fall today, ending their season 5-1. In the American Association, Gary South Shore at X's. There's a chilly night at Lewis and Clark Park tonight. Top 3, no score. Check this play out. Brian Pounds with a tremendous grab. This is to get Christian Vitters out over there. Nice looking play from the X's third baseman. Top 4, still no score. Drew Kolb up to bat with bases empty. He's going to hit a liner to right over here, but a nice sliding catch by Sam Judah records the out, and we'll head to the 5th. Still no score. Adam Klein with a runner on second lines this one down the first base line. Ryan Brockett hustles around third, and he'll come all the way home to score. X's lose the first of the 3-game series, 6-2. With college football season right around the corner, conference preseason picks are here, and today the Missouri Football Conference announced their preseason favorites. The results, well, no real surprises here. UNI picked third, while USD was picked last at 10th. Last year's conference champ and defending national champion North Dakota State was a unanimous pick to repeat with 39 out of 39 first-place votes. Let's take a look at the Valley preseason picks. North Dakota State, number 1. South Dakota State, number 2. UNI, number 3. And rounding out the top 10, those South Dakota Coyotes. And speaking of the Coyotes, they had a linebacker named all preseason Valley. Tyler Starr from George Little Rock racked up 74 tackles and 4 sacks last season for the Coyotes. He is also a preseason All-American. Today, the Bishop Heelan Crusaders played their round 1 contest with Williamsburg, and head coach Andy Osborne called upon his ace, Tyler Cropley, to get the W. In 7 starts this season, Cropley is 6-0 with a 1.9 ERA, giving up only 7 walks all season. Would the Williamsburg Raiders be able to touch any of Cropley's tough stuff? Let's head to Principal Park as the Raiders took on the Crusaders. Top 2, no score. Runner at second for Dalton Sauce, and this pitch gets sauced. Deep to center, Tyler Stolen scores. Heelan with a 1-0 lead. Bottom 7, same score. Cropley working a no-hitter until this happens. Aaron Schultz with a gapper to right center breaks up the no-hitter. The next batter, he's off to the races to second, but he gets gunned down by Jake Nelson. Tyler Cropley going the distance, giving up 1 hit, 9 strikeouts as Heelan gets the win 1-0. They'll advance to play Davenport Assumption Friday at 12 p.m. And the X's, there's your own Scott Larson taking in an X's game. X's hosting Gary South Shore. Richard Salazar gets some help from his defense early. Top second, no score. Drew Martinez for this 3-6-3 double play from Liam Barroso to Luke Merton. Good looking play there. We were scoreless, 3 complete. Top 4 runner on for Christian Vitters. Finds some room in left. Nick Lyles scores on that play, 1-0 Gary. Then later that inning, Martinez back to the plate. Hard shot to short. Brian Pounds almost makes the grab. Brian Kolb will round third and score, but the X's fight back and get the win tonight as they rally and win 5-4. Last season, Adrian Peterson won the National Football League's MVP trophy, rushing for 2,907 yards. He did so on a surgically repaired knee. AP's season last year is the stuff of legends, and now he's predicting he'll catch a legend. Adrian Peterson said today that he will break Emmitt Smith's all-time rushing record. But it won't happen this season. That's a given. But AP predicts he will be the league's all-time leading rusher by the year 2017. Bold words from a guy who just turned 28. But then again, I don't think any of us thought he'd rush for 2,000 yards last season. The Vikes continued their training camp today as the returning players and new faces both blend together. The Vikings are liking what they're seeing on the gridiron.
Every time you got a balanced attack, being able to run the ball and pass the ball, you're going to be more efficient, as an offense.
I know the broad spectrum of what my job, pertains, and now I think it's just understanding a little bit more and a little bit further of situations, what the coaches think in certain situations, how can I help guys be prepared when a situation comes up, and things like that, just become more of a leader.
Obviously our expectation is to get back where we were at last year, but in better position. We want to win the division, we want to have home field advantage, right, and win the Super Bowl, right?
The Minnesota Vikings hold training camp through August 15th. They kick off their preseason schedule at home against the Houston Texans. Coming up after the break, we'll have a final check of your forecast.